Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 231. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is Mr. Anderson. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
Now, for people who want to know what I almost said my old catchphrase. For people who want to know what the KeithAndrewNetWork is, it's uncensored, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. But also, people who want to know what the KeithAndrewNetWork is, it's my way of showing people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. They should never give up and to prove to people you can still mount to something. And they should just show people that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And you should prove to them you can still mount to something. So that being said, it's a half hour, 45 minutes every time. You can say anything you want, like I said, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Once again, thanks, Keith, for having me join you on your network. My name is Newell Anderson. I'm a principal partner of Caccioppoli-Anderson in New York. We are a boutique marketing, consulting, branding, and public relations firm located at Rockefeller Center. And we've been doing this, it'll be almost 6 years.
Oh, that's really cool. What can you tell us about the company and how did you get started?
Sure. Margaret and I have known each other for a while. My business partner, Margaret Caccioppoli, she's been in the marketing public relations industry in Manhattan for over 25 years. And we just happened to run into each other at a lot of different events throughout the city and started having a conversation about how business should be conducted, ways of taking care of the client, making the client first. And we just basically hit it off from a very synergetic business standpoint, and probably knew each other for a couple of years, 3 years, something like that, periodically. And one day we were just talking, said, why don't we do this together? We have the same mindset of how to take care of a client, what the client needs to do, how they're able to interact with them in the proper manner, and make sure that the client comes first to help and assist them in their marketing, their branding, their public relations. So we launched Caccioppoli-Anderson almost 6 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since.
No, absolutely. Now, for people who want to know, but how would they be able to work with you? What type of areas do you focus on?
Well, we focus on all areas, and what I mean by that is everyone needs marketing. Whether you're an individual or you're a company, everyone needs to be branded so that people have a recognition of who you are, what you do, how you do it, and being exposed into the public relations market of getting the enhancement of your name and your brand out there to the demographics and the people who may have a need for your product or services.
All right. Well,
So we talk to everybody. And everything that we do, frankly, it's not templated. Everything is it's not cookie cutter. It is designed specifically for our individual client. We will sit down with them and have a very detailed conversation about what they're doing, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what would you like to see happen, why haven't you done it in the past, what didn't work for you in the past. So we get to know you, get to understand your people, talk to your people. And then we come together and prepare a campaign aspect of it that we think would be best suited for you.
Now, the next question people would probably like to know is, because, money is tight, is there a payment plan, and what is the money range?
Sure. Being a boutique firm, we're able to work very closely with our clients. We do not charge them for things that they do not need. And what I mean by that is, as we put together a program, you may not need certain things for, months or even a year. So a lot of firms, unfortunately, will charge you a flat rate, and it'll go, whether it's being implemented or not. We only charge you for what work we're doing for you, and give you guidance and direction on that aspect of it. But being a boutique firm allows us to work within the boundaries of a client's budget. Okay, let's say, for example, the program you want is $10,000 a month, but your budget is $3,000 a month. Okay, so what we do is there's certain things that we can cut back on, certain things that don't need to be done right now, to work with you so that we're able to work within your budget that allows you to get the exposure, and we start building that foundation within that budget. Okay, and then as the company grows and as revenues and sales increase, and the marketing and the branding of your product or yourself takes off and starts getting more financially inputted, then we can start adding different things as we go through the process. So we look at everything. We're very selective in the clients that we choose to engage. We will not take on a client we do not think that we could be helpful to, whatever industry it is, or whether their business plan or their strategy is something different from what we would want to be involved in. We've also worked very, very hard to build our brand at Caccioppoli-Anderson, and our reputation is very, very sterling from that standpoint, and we're not willing to give that up for a short-term miscalculation if there's no synergy or we don't believe in what you're doing. So we sit down and talk and make sure that there is a compatible relationship, because we're working as a team. We have, it's not you and us, it's us together, all working the same way as a team. So we want to make sure that we're both on board from your standpoint and our standpoint. We're fortunate enough that we can pick and choose who we want to work with. We only work with people that we believe in, and frankly we like. Life is too short to work with people that there's just constant conflict with. We just don't need that. So we're all working together for the benefit of the client. From a standpoint of how much does it cost, it really depends upon the individual client. We have very small clients, and we have medium clients, and we have large clients. So we look at what's important to that client, and if it can make sense, we'll take a look at it real hard.
All right, so hypothetically, if someone didn't have a couple thousand, would you do something like for a couple hundred?
We would take a look at everything that we could do to make sure that you would be able to get the value for what you're looking for. So as an example, a couple $100s a month, we put together a push campaign, as we call it. It's a shorter duration to allow you to get the exposure that you want, but obviously you're not going to get a full-blown campaign that would be a few $1,000s a month. But yes, everything is based upon the ability of the client and us to work together for a common mean, and we believe in what you're doing.
All right, now the next question I was going to ask you is that, say, use me for a perfect example.
Sure.
Now that you're not, money is not an issue. Say, would you be willing to do the push campaign and see if it takes off, and once it takes off, and if I get more popularity, more money, then we can do like a partnership, and then I can just pay you back gradually? Or is it more like you need the money up front more than you need to be like, we will see where it goes at first?
Well, like I said, we work within the budgets of the client. So there may be a smaller initial upfront fee, and what I mean by that, to get us started, but the monthly fee would be perpetrated based upon the fact of what the budget we together established. So, sake of argument, let's say it was $200 a month. Okay, we may come to you and say, okay, your first payment would be $500. And then it would be $200 a month for as long as we agree upon the length of the duration. We find that most agreements, most contracts and engagement agreements that we work with on clients are usually a minimum of a year. We will do shorter time frames, but marketing and branding and public relations are not flip the switch and overnight you're a sensation. There's a tremendous amount of work, research, background that goes into the initial standpoint, that you don't see things happen immediately. You have to plan it for a long term. So if you come to us and say you want a 3-month campaign, that is totally different as a push campaign of penetrating the market hard and strong very fast, compared to building that foundation over the long term. So, like I said, we will sit down and guide you and counsel you and talk to you and see what makes sense. But the reality of it is we want to be able to deliver to you the best bang for your buck.
No, absolutely. Now, the next thing people would probably like to know is what features would you offer? Like, say, someone in the entertainment business, say, how would you get them exposure? What type of marketing do you do? And what type of advertising do you do? And also, what big name stars do you plan on working with or have actually worked with who actually took off?
Well, from an entertainment standpoint, and that is a different animal, let me preference it. First of all, we don't do any advertising. We are not an advertising agency. We do everything except advertising. So if someone needed specific advertising, whether it be in an individual company, we have tremendous relationships with some of the best advertising agencies in the world that we would put you in touch with and guide you from that standpoint. So that would be their area. From an entertainment standpoint, there's two different directions that you can take. You can be an agent or you can be a manager. Okay, to be an agent, you must be licensed, and specifically in the state of New York and California, you have to be a licensed agent to represent talent. Or you can have a manager, someone who's going to implement and guide you through the labyrinth of issues that you're going to face as an entertainer. Okay, take care of your books, provide introductions to you to top level agents. You need lawyers, you need accountants, you need all those things. We're not lawyers, we're not accountants, but we've got a tremendous network of people in those professions. So as a manager, you guide them through the aspects to take care of them. An agent's the one that's going to get you the jobs.
No, absolutely. Now, what other big name stars do you think, for perfect example, what would you think would be beneficial for me? If I was working with you guys, what would you say would be beneficial for me so people can get an idea? Because people know I'm a talk show host.
Sure.
People out there who are in the entertainment business or have their own talk shows and everything, what would be a perfect example, using me for an example?
Sure. Well, I'm going to give you broad strokes because you pay me for the specifics and the incidentals, so to speak. So we don't give away our trade secrets but what we would do is we would sit down with you and say, this is what we want to have happen. That's what you want to do. This is what you want to do. You want to be national. You want to be syndicated. However it may be, we want to look at that aspect of it. Okay. And then we're going to say, okay, you have to take baby steps. Okay. Nobody knows in the world, you have a wonderful following, but are you exposed to the right type of potential guests, potential sponsors, potential, different media that would allow maybe to pick up you, whether it be on the internet or beyond that, and get the exposure level, start building that foundation. Nobody is going to hitch their horse to an unknown entity for the most part because you're talking about serious money. So the biggest aspect we need to do is brand you, get you known, get you exposed, get people out there writing about you, talking about you, attempt to get interviews set up so that you can express yourself as the interviewee, not the interviewer, and go from that aspect. It's a very broad situation, and it's like throwing a pedal into a pond. Okay, you got to start at the center. You want to build it out. You're in New York. We want to start that and phase out over time. So the biggest aspect that we need to do is get you noticed.
No, absolutely. And while on the subject, I know we were going to talk about this off the air, but I might as well make an interesting conversation for the interview.
Sure.
I am based, like I said, in New York, but anywhere where YouTube is available, I'm basically global. I'm all over the States. I'm all over Canada. My interviews have been watched over England. So it is globalized. So, it's, like I said, if you're able to watch YouTube in any other countries, it's out there. I think I got like a 15% US percentage to 15% Canada. Like people, these are people who are watching it.
Sure.
There's like 15% in Canada and England and America. So it is growing. And to be honest, it took me 3 years to actually get to where I am. I did stupid things. I took people by the words. So now I got like permission slips. People say like, "Oh, here's a permission slip," and it basically has the name. It has what the show is about.
Sure.
And by signing it, you're giving me full permission to do whatever I want the game to be. Because before that, I was talking to an agent and a lawyer. He said, "Well, you should get people having it in writing because, during that time, people were saying that, and this is how they talk. My agent said, or my publicist said, it's degrading to be with people like you. You ask a lot of stupid questions. I don't really like the video quality. It's degrading to be with people like you." And I'm like, then why did we do the interview in the first
Exactly. With all due respect, Howard Stern started out making some of the dumbest interviews known to man, okay? And now he's king of all media. So, it doesn't matter from a standpoint of what you want to do. It's whether you and I come together and say, yeah, we believe in what you're doing. It's exciting. We want to be on your team. We want to be a participant to get to the exposure level out there. And, as it goes, some people are going to like what you're doing and some people aren't going to like what you're doing. That's just how it is. And it doesn't matter if it's you as an individual or if it's you as a major superstar. Okay. So it's finding that niche. It's finding those demographics. It's finding the people, who want to be able to express themselves on a free market and a freedom of speech aspect that you can talk about the subject to which you invited me to talk to you about. Okay. And I don't understand people sometimes because they know what they're going into usually.
Yeah.
And if not, don't do it if you have any reservations. And if not, do it, and anything's fair game. You let it be known up front, anything's fair game. The individual can choose to answer the question or not, obviously, but that's the whole name of the game, is to be able to have that free expression.
No, absolutely. Now I'm going to pass the show back over to you. Now, this is your time after all. Gloves off. You can talk about anything you want. Do you have any questions or subjects you would like to talk about?
I'm open. The ball's in your court, my friend. Ask whatever you like.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you some easy questions like I usually do. When you were in high school and college, did you do any sports? And when you were in college, what did you major in?
I played extensive sports when I was in high school. Football, baseball, basketball, track, etc. I love the competition and the athletic aspect of it. When I went to college, I majored in business. I started at Florida State University in Tallahassee, and then I went to Rollins College in Winter Park in business.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, now that we're focusing on the company, what was your biggest influence to get your company started? Like, was there someone who influenced you? Was it someone who said, or was it you who said, this is what you want to do for the rest of your life? How did all that start?
Well, it really all started from a standpoint that, the economic situation in the United States was so bad that you had to find different avenues of which to make a living, so to speak. So a lot of people know me more as a finance guy, but in my first career, I was very heavily involved in marketing and public relations and things of that nature. So it's finding truly the right partner and with the right aspect where it's also, Margaret has her areas of expertise and her strengths and weaknesses, and I have my area of expertise and strengths and weaknesses, and together they combine to make a full team. So, it's having a partner that you trust completely, that that they're going to do their job and you're going to do your job, and you're on the same wavelength of what you envision your company to be and how you want it to grow and how you want it to prosper. So it came about basically initially as necessity of finding an opportunity out there to change careers as a result of the economic slowdowns in 2008, 2009, 2010, etc.
All right. Now, for a perfect example, say like someone who's just starting out, like for me, for a perfect example, what would be your steps of growing your fan base, and does that dictate on people working with you and people who want to benefit from you? Does a fan base actually play a part in that, or is it just saying how many people actually support what you're doing?
No, a network is essential, in my opinion, for the overall success of individuals and companies. I call it building the spider web, whereby you have to go out there and leave your ego at the door and connect with people. You have to talk to people. You have to shake their hand. You have to find out what's important to them, and then develop a relationship that can be quid pro quo. In other words, Keith, how can I help you? And Keith, how can you help me? And you want to be able to build that aspect of it with your network and expand that network so that you have people that you can call upon for assistance when you need it. Okay, it's playing chess. If those of people who play chess, they're always looking, 4, 5, 6 moves on the board. It's the same thing with business and networking. Networking is being able to find individuals of like mind who are able and willing to do a quid pro quo if you need something, or introduction, or hey Keith, I need to know somebody in the entertainment business who's an agent. Do you know someone? And building that network is paramount, specifically for small businesses. Okay, of getting your name out there, your recognition out there, your brand out there. So everything that we do for our clients, we did for ourselves initially. We started off, we didn't know people either. I mean, we knew a lot of people, but in a different aspect of it. So it's branding and building that relationship, enhancing that network. I can't stress that enough. Now, that being said, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of bad feedback about this, and specifically in New York City, there's networking events going on every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinners, cocktails, you name it, it's going on. The key to it is finding out which ones are important, finding out which ones are of value to you. Would you rather go to a networking event that has 3,000 people? Would you rather go to one with 50 people? Okay? Depends what you're looking for. We find, and that's one of the things that we do, is we teach people how to network and the value of it, how to get your network working for you, how to get your network to be basically an outside sales force for you. Okay? But people go to networking events with 300, 400 people, and they stand in the corner. Well, what did you go for? Did you really need a free drink that bad? It's a business. It's your job to go there and find individuals who may be of benefit to you in your business, but in return, you have to be reciprocal to them. Okay, I call them one-way streeters. If I'm always giving you stuff and you're never giving me stuff, our relationship's not going to be very long. Okay, so it's being able to find the right type of networking event, and we teach you how to do that, how to look for that, in a training aspect of it. And the biggest problem that people do is they go to these networking events and they collect all these business cards or whatever, and what do they do with them? They throw them on their desk and they never follow up. Well, what did you go for? Okay, the whole point, it is a business. It's not a cocktail event. You may be having a cocktail there, but it is a business. It's how you grow your business. Some people are very good at it. Unfortunately, most people aren't.
No, absolutely. Now, personally, have you ever gone to one of those connections or one of those events?
I've been to thousands of them, to be honest with you, over my career. I don't go to as many as I used to because I don't have to. Okay, when I first came to New York, I didn't know a soul. So I started something called Commuter Cocktails, where I used to host an event at Grand Central, a specific location there, and once a month I'd invite people to come and meet me. Okay, and I picked Grand Central, obviously, because it's a major commute center, and people want to run out before they jump on the train. They'll come by and stop by and have a cocktail and shake your hand. Built a network of phenomenal today. I mean, excellent people that I've known for years and years and years, and across all industries, that allowed me to build myself and my brand and my reputation. So when I pick up the phone and say, Keith, I got somebody you need to meet, I don't ever tell you why, when, and how. That's up to you. But trust me, they're going to meet with you.
So it's basically, it's again when if you give me a call, it's got to be important. It's not got to be one of those half-ass things, right?
Exactly. Time is too valuable, and people are all out there looking for it. If you're in a specific industry and you're going to a networking event that has the same type of individuals in your industry, all looking to do the same thing, what are you going there for? And that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, is they network within their own industry. And really, it ends up being a zero-sum game for them.
No, absolutely. Going back to me, I network with everyone. I started off with just interviewing voiceover actors. And then I slowly said, okay, let's see what else I can do. Interviewed actors, actresses, models. And it's like, okay, well, why not interview CEOs? So that should be very interesting. And it's kind of like, okay, now I'm interviewing CEOs. It's like, okay, then we take it to the next step and the next step. Then now I'm pretty much interviewing everyone. Actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, dancers, people on the high up, people are on the low down. It's, like you said, you have to network with everyone.
I absolutely agree.
And I pretty much came up with the idea because, I always thought if you work hard, things will come to you. But the truth of the matter is, I'm like CM Punk. Yeah, he's former WWE wrestler. I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I have no filter. I walk to the beat of my own drum. But I'm also like the other wrestler, Edge, the ultimate opportunist. If you want something, you have to go out and create your own opportunity for it.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be handed to you.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on Stage 32? Are you on Facebook, Twitter?
All of the above. Stage 32, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, names, Zoom, info. I'm pretty much on everything. And you can follow me at Newell Anderson or Caccioppoli-Anderson, either one. And I'd love to have you, talk to you. I learned a long time ago, it doesn't cost anything to talk. Okay? See where there's a connection. If nothing else happened, you may have just made a new friend. So you take a look at it and go from there.
No, absolutely. Wrapping up the interview segment, I just want to say it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
Thank you for having me, Keith. It's been a pleasure, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for having me.